So, facing three big questions, we have Vlad Kreimer from Soma. And like our last meeting at SuperBooth, we went outside to find some peace and tranquility. We've tried to find the most tranquil space in NAM. But anyway, so our three big questions then is about the past, the present and the future. So our first question is going to be about the past, and I'd like to ask you about something from your past that's been a very important thing that's brought you to where you are today.
Maybe it could sound strange, but for me it was my connection with nature. So I grew up in very relaxed natural space. So I spent a lot of time just hanging around trees and grasses, flowers, speak with insects maybe. And it's made a kind of silence maybe inside of me and possibility to percept like subtle vibes when not so aggressive and loud like here, for example. So a lot of emptiness. So you start to be very aware of everything and you start to appreciate even small things which could be hardly noticed if everything is colorful lights, very fast, like all this endless entertainment like now. So it made maybe my deepness, I can say. And up to these days, I find my base there. And it's like point where I can realize, reassume, reconsider everything which goes on around. So now it's so simple to lose yourself because huge amount of everything around. But when I go to I was like six years old boy hanging around empty fields and wild trees, I can pick from the modern world exactly what I need and don't lose myself.
Nice. So keep a clarity, keep an empty, the emptiness of the space allows just the important part to...
Yes,
okay.
Don't lose myself and have enough space for silence inside of me.
Very nice. So we're going to talk about now, the present, and just kind of what is currently going on in your world, what you're doing, what is interesting you.
So for me, I really love and I really maybe can think about not about myself but humanity and the world and the whole. So for me, we are in the point of transition. So we are like a ball who are on a hill and faster run to some unknown direction. So like maybe it's big hole, maybe it's vice versa, something like jump to the sky. And I perceive this future like a train which goes down faster and faster and unfortunately seems to be without any control. So this is my perception of nowadays.
So then, talking about the future then, what would you like to see happen in the future? What's something that is... and if you could help shape the future, what would that be?
So for me, all three questions, like the past, present and the future, the main question, I think, is Mr. Robot. So we created technologies. Let's call it Mr. Robot. And it's clear, I think, for any educated person now that Mr. Robot is much more powerful than we. He beat us almost everywhere, just several really tiny spaces. We still safe where we can say, oh, I am a human, I'm proud about that. And for me it's clear that Mr. Robot will beat us everywhere. And on my opinion, the most interesting questions which start to be not like for philosophers of past, it's like nobody care, but he sit under, I don't know, somewhere here and think who I am. But now seems to be for all humanity question who I am will be the most important question. And not only like it's my inner life, it's question of evolution, because Mr. Robot is evolutional event, so it's new form of life, from my experience, my opinion, and we will be forced to redefine who we are, and this is, in my opinion, the most important questions for seems to be nearest future. And in my activity as engineer, my activity as sound designer, it's like my thinking about who we are. So, because electronical music, it's exactly this point where human and Mr. Robot meet each other. And there is really different way how we can interact with Mr. Robot. And my question, how I still to be a human? So for sure, Mr. Robot is super powerful, but I feel that less and less place I have to be like a force, to be like a spirit, not just like someone who press play button and then stay doing nothing.
Right.
Because it's not a big achievement to press play button.
Right.
So in my equipment, I try to find new place for humanity. We cannot say Mr. Robot goodbye and go back to stone era, for sure. But we have to redefine how we have to interact with Mr. Robot for still to be human. And this is maybe the most important question for me in my developments in Soma Laboratory.
So you would like to see the creativity or the human experience remain, that the technology allows the human creativity to be bigger than the technology.
Yes, so my idea, I would like to create musical tools. What is tool? For example, I have just 10 fingers, but I can make extension. So good musical instrument has to be extension of my soul and rid of limitations of my body. And that would be fine, but it very subtle boundary. It have not to take my soul. It just have to help me express myself, but don't take my heart and make it like this, printed on the wall nature. I don't like to be like this picture.
Right.
So this is Vlad Kreimer. No, this is just flat surface, guys.
Yeah.
It's trick. So that's maybe my struggle for the future.
Okay, fantastic. So Vlad, thank you so much for taking our questions, and we will see you soon. Yes, lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.